Now that you've finished your ties for your apron and your neck strap, you're ready to begin getting your apron ready to sew. So go ahead and grab your main apron piece out of your Ziploc, and you're going to go ahead and just give it a press, iron it a little bit because it's been all folded up and wrinkled in your Ziploc bag for a while. So go ahead and press out all the creases. That's what I like to do before I sew. And then we're going to be ready to start finishing off some of these edges. These curved edges right here on the sides of your apron are the ones we're going to finish right now before we add on our ties. So the way you're going to do that, you're going to go get a seam gauge out of our tool bin, and I want you guys to set your seam gauge for 3/8 of an inch. So the 1/8 of the inch marks are on the top. You find the third line, 1, 2, 3, and you put your seam gauge on that 3/8 mark. Then you come over to your curved edge here, and we're going to fold it. We want a nice finished edge. You can see on this one that I've already done how we want to have a nice finished edge. This one's already been sewn, and it's just got a really nice finished edge. We want that. That's what we're going for. So you're going to go ahead and fold this over, and you are going to use your seam gauge to make sure that you're folding it over the correct amount. The way that you do it is you put the edge of the ruler on the edge of the fabric, and then you're going to make sure that this gauge is on this fold of the fabric. So if I've folded it over too much, then I need to back off until I've got just the edge of the ruler and the edge of the fabric all the way along. And you can go ahead and kind of finger crease it as you go, and that'll be a nice guideline for your iron to follow. So then once you kind of have that finger folded, you can go ahead and make that, press that first fold in. Okay, well, we still have a raw edge here, so we need to fold it one more time to encase that raw edge to make a really nice clean finish. So now we can just go ahead and fold it right onto itself. Again, we don't want to fold it too wide. Fold it just so that we've encased that raw edge, and you're going to press it all the way along, making sure that it's nice and even. I again like to use my seam gauge to make sure that it's nice and even. If you find that you've kind of got a skinny part or a fat part, you can come with your seam gauge and measure it out and press it in. Okay, so that's one side all ready to go. Now you want to make sure you do the other side, and it's super important that you fold it the same direction. So you're going to fold this side in on the same side as the other, and do the exact same process on that side. And then you're going to take it to your sewing machine, and we're going to sew those in place. So now we're ready to sew the side part of our apron. So you're going to set your machine to just a regular stitch length, stitch width, everything, and your needle is going to be in the center position. Now this is going to be different than sewing our straps, because up until now we've matched our edge of our fabric with our edge of our presser foot. We're not going to do that with this one, and this one is going to be maybe a little bit trickier for some of you, but I know that you guys can do it. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to sew close to the fold line, but you want to sew nice and evenly so that you're not jumping off onto the other fabric. You want to just sew right along that seam line. So this is one where you're going to kind of just eyeball it. Now, it just so happens that it is going to be close to, if you do the 3/8 of an inch, it will be close to the edge of your presser foot. So if some of you want to use that as a guide, then go ahead and do that. But you're really wanting to make sure you look on this side, and make sure that you are right alongside this and not going over, because otherwise you won't be catching this fabric. You want to secure this down. So put your needle down, make sure you back stitch at the edge. We don't want this coming undone. Okay, and you're going to sew this all the way along. And you can see I'm guiding my fabric, and as I need to turn, I just go slowly so that you can be accurate. And you're just going to go all the way around this curve, doing your best to stay close to that edge. All the way. Once you get to the very edge, you're going to back stitch. You can sew right off. Back stitch when you get to the edge of that fabric and sew all the way off. Needle up, press your foot up, cut your threads, and have a look at your seam. That looks really great. So now I'm going to take it over to the iron and give it a press. Sew the other side.